Hey, I'm so glad you're here. If you're feeling overwhelmed by mess or tired of cleaning the same spaces over and over, I get it. Some days, the house is just too much, too messy, too loud, too out of control. And no amount of checklist or motivation can fix that when you're already exhausted. What helped me wasn't a system, it was a few tiny shifts I could actually stick to even on hard days. And I know every country, every culture, every home has its own rhythm. But trust me, there's something in here that can work for you. So in this video, I'm sharing 10 ways to declutter faster without burning out, without starting over every weekend. And since this is the very first video on my channel, thank you so much for being here. If anything in this helps you feel a little lighter, I'd love for you to stick around. Start with trash. Some days, the mess feels like a mountain, and the hardest part is just starting. Don't organize. Don't sort. Don't make a plan. Just grab a trash bag and walk through one room looking only for things you can throw away. In my entryway, I found 3 old receipts, a broken pen, 2 empty snack wrappers, and sunscreen from a brand we stopped using months ago. None of it needed a decision, just a bag. If you're near a bookshelf, check behind books. Near your kid's backpack. Check for old worksheets. No guilt, just toss. When your brain is tired, decisions feel heavy. But trash doesn't need decisions, and that's the beauty of starting here. You get a visible win fast. And if your whole week feels too busy to even try, come back here tomorrow. I'll be sharing my favorite weekend cleaning shortcuts, the quick, low-effort routines that still make your home feel reset and calm again. Once the obvious trash is gone, it's easier to see what's actually taking up space and what's just in the way. Let's move to the next thing that keeps clutter stuck. If clutter keeps landing in the same spots, the table, the counter, the edge of your bed, you probably don't need more discipline. You just need one place for the in-between stuff. Set up a simple drop zone. It could be a tote bag on a hook, a box near the door, or a basket in the hallway. Somewhere you can drop things you don't want to deal with right now, but also don't want scattered everywhere. I use a neutral bin near my entryway. That's where I toss unopened mail receipts. I might need random tools I haven't put back yet. Once a week, I go through it with a cup of coffee, and honestly, most of the stuff in there ends up being trash or easy to rehome in under 10 minutes. One weekend, I found 3 dead batteries, a pack of curtain hooks I forgot to return, and a broken phone case, all things that would have sat on my table for weeks if I hadn't given them a place to pause. You're not failing at staying tidy. You just need a softer system, one that gives you time to decide later without letting clutter take over now. Next, let's talk about how to keep your energy focused when you're ready to declutter, but everything else feels urgent too. This one is very familiar to me and probably to you too. You set aside 20 minutes to declutter, but 5 minutes in, you're wiping counters, folding laundry, answering texts. Sound familiar? It happens to all of us. The moment you try to declutter, everything else suddenly feels more urgent. Here's the shift: when it's time to declutter, only declutter. Ignore the dishes. Don't vacuum. Don't put anything away yet. You're not cleaning. You're deciding what can leave your space. I usually set a small timer, just 15 minutes. I tell myself, for this short window, nothing else matters except finding what I no longer need. One time, I cleared out a whole drawer of old chargers and cables because I stayed focused, no side chores, no detours. When you give your brain one job, it actually finishes it. And that feels good. Let's look at the next tip, something that makes it even easier to follow through without adding more to your to-do list. Let's be honest, selling stuff sounds smart until it sits in a corner for 6 months. If you're already stretched thin, don't add more pressure by making every item a project. Sometimes the best way to clear space is to just let it go fast, simple, guilt-free. I used to save things to list online. I'd photograph them, write descriptions, plan to respond to messages, and then I'd never do it. Eventually, I donated 5 bags of clothes in one trip, and the relief I felt walking out of that donation center was worth more than any cash I might have made. If something's still usable but you're not using it, give it a second life somewhere else. Think of it this way: your peace of mind is worth more than a pile of maybe I'll sell it later. Next, let's talk about where to put your energy first so you get the biggest results without decluttering your entire house. Here's a secret: you don't need to declutter your entire house to feel a big shift. You just need to start with the spots that impact your day the most. That's the 80-20 rule. Roughly 80% of the stress comes from just 20% of the clutter, usually the flat surfaces that catch everything or the places your eyes land over and over. For me, it's the kitchen counter where keys, receipts, and grocery bags pile up, and that one chair in my bedroom where I tend to toss half-worn clothes. Just clearing those two spots makes everything feel quieter. Even when the rest of the house is still in progress, I feel like I can breathe. Here's another example. I once had a side table in my living room that was always buried in half-read books, chargers, cups, and mail. I timed it. It took less than 12 minutes to clear it completely. And for the rest of the week, every time I walked past it, I felt lighter. That one corner changed the energy of the whole room. So pick your stress spot, the one that makes you sigh every time you pass it. You don't have to do everything. Just lighten that one zone. Next, we'll talk about a mindset shift that helps you finally let go of things you've been holding on to, even if you're not sure why. You know that feeling when you hold something in your hand and think, should I keep this? I might need it someday. That question right there is usually your answer. If it's not a clear yes, then it's a quiet no. I had a blazer I kept for years. It still fit. It looked fine, but every time I saw it, I felt nothing. Not excited, not confident, just a vague maybe. And yet, I kept it in case I needed to dress up, in case it came back in style, in case of something that never actually happened. The truth, I had other clothes I did love and actually wore. So one day I let the blazer go, and I haven't missed it once. Try this, hold the item. If your first reaction isn't, yes, I love this, or I use this all the time, consider letting it go. You deserve a home full of things that feel like a yes. In the next tip, we'll set up a system that helps you keep moving even when you don't have time to decide right away. Sometimes when you're decluttering, you'll pick something up and realize this doesn't belong here. But instead of running to put it back, then getting distracted in another room, try this instead. Use a rehome box. It's just a container you keep nearby while decluttering. Anything that needs to go somewhere else, not donate, not trash, just wrong room, goes in that box for now. When I was decluttering my bathroom drawers, I kept finding things like nail clippers, a tape measure, a roll of washi tape, none of which belonged there. I dropped them all in my rehome bin. Only after I finished the space did I walk around the house putting things back where they actually go. It kept me focused. No side quests, no half-finished drawers. This small shift makes decluttering smoother because you're not breaking momentum every 5 minutes. Next, let's talk about how to fit all of this into your day, even when you feel like you don't have a single free hour. Waiting for the perfect time to declutter. You might be waiting forever. One thing that's helped me stay on top of clutter, especially on busy weeks, is this: don't plan a big clean, just declutter in passing. If I'm heading to the bedroom with a cup, I'll grab something off the kitchen counter that doesn't belong. When I walk by the hallway table, I'll take one envelope with me and toss it. Not a big session, not even 5 minutes. Just one thing done on the way. Last Tuesday, I decluttered half my bathroom shelf without meaning to. I opened the cabinet to grab toothpaste, saw a nearly empty hair serum I hadn't used in months, and tossed it. That moment, 3 seconds, still counts. This way, decluttering becomes a background habit. You're not setting time aside, you're just training your brain to let go little by little as you move through the day. It's low effort, no pressure, and it adds up fast. Now let's talk about how to make that effort feel even more rewarding emotionally, not just practically. Let's be honest, decluttering isn't always fun. Sometimes it feels like one more thing you have to do and you already don't have enough energy. So here's a trick: pair it with something you actually like. For me, it's music. I have one playlist I only turn on when I'm decluttering. The songs are upbeat, familiar, and make the task feel lighter, almost like background dancing. Sometimes I listen to a podcast I've been saving. The rule is I can only press play if I'm moving. I've actually looked forward to cleaning just to finish an episode. You can also light a candle before you start, or make yourself a small reward like a cup of your favorite tea when you're done. Tiny things, nothing fancy. The point is to make decluttering less of a chore and more of a moment. Not perfect, not productive, just a little more pleasant. And finally, there's one last mindset shift that ties all of this together, something that helps you stop aiming for perfect and just get it done. Decluttering gets frustrating when you're doing all the work, but the clutter keeps coming back. I've been there. I'd spend an hour clearing a space, then bring home a great deal from the store the next day. I told myself it was useful, on sale, better quality. But what I was really doing was undoing my own effort. It's like draining a tub while the faucet's still running. So here's the shift. Before you buy something, pause. Just write it down. Put it on a 24-hour list. Half the time I forget about it. The other half I realize I didn't really need it after all. I started keeping a think first note in my phone, just a short list of things I think I want. If it's still important after a day or two, I go back. If not, I've saved myself clutter money and another decision to make later. Decluttering isn't just about what you let go of, it's also about what you stop bringing in. And when you combine both, that's when your space really starts to shift. Perfection is sneaky. It makes you think if I can't do it all, I won't do it at all. And that mindset keeps so many of us stuck. The truth is, your home doesn't need to be a Pinterest board, it just needs to feel easier to live in. I used to avoid decluttering my closet because I didn't have matching hangers. I told myself I'd do it right, one big reset, color-coded, folded by type. But that day never came. One afternoon, I pulled out 5 things I hadn't worn in years and donated them. That was it, just 5. And somehow that tiny action made the whole space feel more breathable. You don't need a full plan. You don't need to do it perfectly. You just need to take one thing out that doesn't belong, and that's already progress. So if your space isn't done yet, that's okay. Decluttering isn't a finish line. It's just a gentle, ongoing shift toward peace. This is actually the very first video I've made, and I truly hope you found something in it that felt helpful. That's it. Just a handful of small shifts that made a big difference in how my home feels. You don't need to change everything all at once. Sometimes, just doing one small thing, tossing a few items, creating a drop zone, saying no to one more purchase is enough to feel lighter today. If even one of these tips helped you breathe a little easier, then that's more than enough. And if this kind of content feels useful to you, I'd love it if you gave this video a like. That's how I'll know what really helps. I've also got a video coming up on how to reset your home over the weekend, even if you're tired and short on time, so feel free to stick around for that. And of course, you're always welcome to subscribe if you want more calm, doable ways to simplify your home one small shift at a time.